What's up YouTube? Ian Sandusky back here again for Let's Machine. Today I'm going to give you guys a quick tour of my shop. I know guys have been asking for one of these since I started doing these videos. I had a lot of jobs running through here that had NDAs on, so it wasn't worth risking anything with that in order to give you guys a tour. Because obviously the business comes before the YouTube. But now that that's over with, I can give you guys a little tour of the shop. We're in Newmarket, Ontario. We've been here since 1988. My father started this company back then in 1988. I've been here 6-7 years now, I believe. So yeah, we are just about an hour north of Toronto. We've been in the same location since we opened, and all we've done is kind of buy units next to us and keep moving into them. So our shop has expanded over the years. So let's go take a look around. I'll show you guys what we do here. That's a big automatic surface grinder. This is just a normal surface grinder, and then we have a smaller surface grinder over there we basically just use to grind flats on things. Back in the late 80s, early 90s when we first opened up here, we used to be predominantly a die shop. Die maintenance, building dies. We used to build a lot of dies. We don't do any of that anymore, virtually at all. We do some die maintenance. The last die we probably built was maybe 4 years ago, if not more. Very hard to compete with China on that stuff, you know what I mean? They can go and buy a die with everything welded in from China for 30 grand, spend another 30 grand fixing it. It's still going to be cheaper than buying a die from North America that actually has replaceable parts, wire EDM parts and all that. But that's the way the industry went. A lot of that's coming back now. We were very fortunate to survive that and evolve into the CNC arena. We were one of the first shops around here to get into CNC, so that definitely helped us back in the day. Whoever was here had good forethought on that, so thank you to them. We don't use these very much anymore. We use them very rarely, for little grinding things, mostly for in-house jobs. The bigger surface grinder we do use for, sharpening punches for dies and start sharpening die sections. For what we do still service the dies that we built back in the day, but there just isn't that much work to do with that anymore. Kind of is what it is, but we've moved on. Let's go take a look at the CNC machines. This is our Sonic AQ325L wire machine. I believe it's a 2005, so it's getting up there in years. I believe we also bought it used, so it's been used and abused over the years. It doesn't cut quite as well and quite as quickly as it used to, but it still works really well. It's a capability that we have that a lot of shops do not have, so it's definitely a value-added service that we have here. We use it predominantly in-house for a lot of prototyping type stuff. We do still use it to cut punches for die maintenance stuff, for cutting new punches or cutting new die sections. You can see here, we have die blocks and punch blocks and stuff that we cut everything out of. But yeah, it's a very handy machine to have. Would we invest in another one in the future? It'd be nice to have a new one. The problem is these machines are very expensive, and how long would it take to pay itself off? Who knows? That's something for the future. But yeah, so this is Sonic AQ325L wire machine. You can see down here we have our 4th axis set up for the Haas VF5. It's a Haas 4th axis rotary back there. This is a table that we built for it. If you watch some of our other videos, you'll definitely see this table in use. She used to be work here, who was a brilliant machinist who built this. Very, very lucky to have this here. We don't use as much as we used to. We just don't have a lot of 4th axis work, or it's not worth setting this up for things that we can just do in 2 setups. But it's nice to have that capability here. Behind me here we have the Haas VF5. Getting set up to run some steel today. This is our biggest machine here. Haas VF5 has a travel of 60 inches by 30 something, 36 I think. I could be wrong, could be 24. But it's a 2005, it's our second newest machine here. I really like it. Unfortunately, it still does have a very small memory as opposed to the newer machines, that have like a gigabyte or whatever it may be. This one still only has, relatively small memory. But it's nice, we have the extended travel on the Z when we bought this one. It also has the 4th axis capability, so anytime we run jobs with 4th axis that's big, it goes in here. Behind me here we have the Haas VF4. I believe this was the first machine we bought. It could be the second one. I feel like we sold one back in the day, but it's, I believe, at 95 or 96. Still has the yellow and black screen. It's a workhorse. It still holds a tolerance. You're not going to be hitting 1/10 right off the bat with it. You do have to work it around a little bit, but it works well. We use it predominantly for steel production jobs now. Steel things like this where we don't really care about abusing the spindle a little bit. But yeah, it's held up pretty well. Obviously, it's had a lot of maintenance issues over the years. We've had to fix the tool carousel a few times. I'm not sure if this one's had a new spindle. It's very possible. But it's an old machine. Fortunately, we've had it here the whole time, so you kind of learn your machines and their little quirks and such, and we know its maintenance history. So it's a good machine, still works well. Behind me here, we have our Haas VF3. This is the other machine that could be the first one we had. I'm a little confused as to which one came first. This one is a great machine. It does predominantly aluminum production for us. It has had some more issues over the years. I believe it's a 96 as well. We've had to replace the spindle on this one. The pump has gone for the coolant before. Coolant's still a little slow. Memory is small, but it's a machine that's paid for itself, probably 10 times over easily. And it does good work. It still produces parts within tolerance. We usually leave, a fixture like this set up in there that runs 60 parts at a time. And this thing will run, I'm just about to reload it. It'll run during the week, pretty much all week, running these parts for us. So, if the machine's paid for and it still does good parts, why get rid of it? Why upgrade, right? So I don't know if you see in that corner there, that big jug there. When you hear that hissing sound that you hear in my videos all the time, that's the air dryer for the dehumidifier, I guess, air dryer. That's where it ejects out moisture. So anytime you hear the hissing sound in my videos, it's loud, it's ugly, that's what that is. You can't turn it off, it's got to keep the water in the lines. Besides that, we do have 3 manual mills here. I think we have 1 Bridgeport and 2 Firsts. Back in the day when the shop first opened, my old man used to tell me that there would be 5 or 6 manual mills in a row, just like this one, knee mills, and a skilled machinist at each one. Today, it's very difficult to even find guys to run anything, let alone manual machinists. So, kudos to you guys who work on manual machines. Obviously, times have changed. We have these that we mainly do, little stuff on. We don't really do production on them. A lot of times it's just for in-house stuff, or if we need to pop a couple quick holes in something. But we do have that capability still here as well. It's important to also know, in my opinion, how to use manual machines. In my opinion, if you don't know how to use a manual machine well, I don't understand how you can use a CNC machine. When it comes to backlash, climb milling, just how to use a cutter, when to use a cutter. I could be wrong on that, but I do feel like it's an invaluable asset to be able to make a part on a manual machine if a CNC machine breaks down or something. Back behind me here, we have my favorite machine. This is our Haas VF2. I believe it's a 2008. It's our newest machine. It's got a high-speed spindle on it, so it's got the 7,500 RPM, or sorry, the 10,000 RPM spindle on it. It also has 4th axis capability. I leave that fixture in there pretty much all the time on the 4th axis when we're not doing anything else. We run thousands of these parts a year, so I basically keep it running those and keep them in stock if we have nothing else coming through on it. That being said, it's amazing to do aluminum on here. I've done a lot of Delrin and UHMW surfacing this machine. It's a really great machine. If it wasn't so small, I would buy another one instantly. That is kind of a limiting factor, but you gotta remember with the small machines, the travel is very short and it's got the high-speed rapid. So when it comes to doing little parts and stuff, it's brilliant at it. It can wrap it really quickly. You know, the tool change, it's a 2-second tool changer. It's good for repeated work and for production stuff. So love this machine. It's got larger memory than my VF5. I think it's got like a gigabyte in there, so you can actually put big programs on there. The other capability it has is it can drip feed straight off a USB stick, which, you know, if you have any modern machines, they can, but when you're working with some older stuff like I am, it still feels like a nice new thing to do, okay? Lastly, we have the Haas SC20 lathe. This is our newest machine here, period. We bought this about 2 years ago, brand new. Great machine. It's really done great for us. It's just a straight turning lathe, does not have live tooling. Yeah, really can't complain about it at all. Haas makes great machines. You know, the big thing that we like about Haas is that if something breaks down, we can get someone here to fix it within a day. And if they need parts, it's American made. We can get something here pretty much instantly, as opposed to some of the shops I know, when we take over work for them, when their machines break down, I don't know what machine this one guy has, but he needs to order parts from Germany. So it can take a week for parts to get here, and he's just sitting there dead in the water. So, you know, really can't say enough good things about Haas. Obviously, I've thought about switching over the years, but stick with the good thing, right? This last unit over here is our newest unit. We bought it just about a year ago. We've been waiting for it to come up for sale forever, but we just knocked down the wall between it and our other units. It's mostly material storage, die storage. We try to rack everything back here. It's a bit of a nightmare back here right now because we just finished up some big jobs, so everything kind of needs to go away still. Tow motor, obviously, we have back here, and we have a big old Serco PA24 lathe that we use once every 3 years back here. For big turning stuff, but that's about it. Thank you very much for coming and hang out with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my shop. You know, I hope we're gonna be here for many more years to come. There's obviously a lot of things I would like to change about the shop. You know, I'd like to put in some new machinery, like to reorganize it a bit. But you know, these are the capabilities we have here. This is what where I've been working for as long as I've been in the trade. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you want to see more videos, make sure you like and subscribe below. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.